What's up, y'all? Welcome to Three Brothers and a Shot of Milk presents Two Cousins Talking Batman. We are going through Batman, the animated series, season one. Chris and I grew up on the show. Chris, you're the ultimate Batman animated series
So,
fanboy.
so this cartoon is what really shaped my love of Batman. You know, it's funny. We're going back. We're watching this, and this is the first time we've actually watched an episode together since our grandmother's house when we were kids, right?
That's crazy. I mean, we've talked about it, but we haven't actually,
I mean, we've talked about it for 30 damn years. To be
we
fair,
have.
but
We
it's the first
definitely
time we've
have.
watched something, to tandem in a long time, man.
Dude. And so far, and we'll get into it, but so far, it's like I don't need rose-colored sunglasses to
No,
enjoy it.
no.
It's a banger.
It's not He-Man, right? So you go back, you watch He-Man, you're like,
It
this is
just
kind
don't
of
work.
it don't hold. But this, like, I found myself watching these episodes, like watching because before we watch it, we talked about we're gonna choose this episode and why we like this episode. And after I watched this episode, I ended up watching like 3 more episodes after that because it's just so
It's
freaking
really good.
good,
It's really
so good.
good. Man, so we're gonna be dropping these every freaking week. Maybe Saturday mornings, Chris. Okay, you're watching this Saturday morning. Get your cereal.
Yep.
Saturday mornings, we're dropping this. We also got other content on this platform. I got to do the whole YouTube stuff. So basically, we check out our unboxings, check out our comic book reviews, check out our movie reviews, subscribe, hit like, tell a friend. We also got a podcast. Click that link. Listen to us geek out every single week. We also do a movie review on there or TV review on there. But okay, all that's out the way. Let's get into this, man.
Let's talk about. All right, let me set this up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from season 1. This is episode 18 of season 1, directed by Boyd Kirkland. The stories by Dennis O'Flaherty and Tom Ruger. Original air date November 4th, 1992. That would make me 10 years old when this thing came out.
Why are we so old,
I
man?
don't know, but it hits harder now
Yo.
because this episode is us, right? Batman is us in this episode. Well, to be fair, I always think I'm Batman a little. I always think, with the right stuff, I can always be Batman. But this Batman is kind of like an analogy for us and what we do with Three Brothers and a Shot of Milk. Like we grew up on stuff we love and we're emulating it and doing stuff to
Dude,
kind of honor the stuff we love, right?
if you became a vigilante and you're saving your city, and Michael Keaton's like, "I'll help you. Let me put on the bat suit." Like that's this episode.
That's this episode, right? This is like every fanboy's dream,
Like,
right?
okay, yo, that's crazy. Oh,
Yep.
that's such a good episode, man.
So guest appearances. This is the big one, right? So this is Adam West is the Gray Ghost,
Wow.
which is a cool callback to like future and at this time present Batman, right?
Mhm.
We also have Bruce Timm is Ted Dimer, who's I think he's a bad guy. So Bruce Timm is one of the showrunners on the show.
Oh, he
Yeah.
put his
So
voice to this. Cool.
yeah, a lot of time, this Superman: The Adventures, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited is called the Timverse.
Yeah.
For Bruce Timm, who's the showrunner, who showran all those shows, and then yeah, that's it. I'll give you a brief synopsis, and we can start talking about the actual show itself.
Let's go.
Simon Trent, an actor best known for his past roles as the Grey Ghost, is on the verge of bankruptcy thanks to his declining career. To save himself, he sells off all his Grey Ghost merchandise. Immediately afterwards, a series of crimes related to the old show begin to occur. Batman, having been inspired partly by the show to become the crime fighter he is now, goes to Trent for help, and they team up to put an end to the crimes. In this episode, the voice of Simon Trent is none other than Adam West, the man who played Batman in the 1960s version of Batman.
And I need people to realize who are way younger. At this point, it's been as far as like becoming superstars. It's been Adam West
It's been
and
30
Michael
years.
Keaton.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's not like we're like 6 Batmans down the line and Adam West came back. No, Adam West is still pretty present Batman in our mind. It's only been him and Michael Keaton so far. This is before Batman Forever, Val Kilmer. This is before George Clooney, and of course before Christian Bale. So it's almost like it's nostalgia, but it's also like, don't forget who I am.
Facts. It's true. It's true.
Michael Keaton's the new guy. Don't get it
Right.
twisted.
Right.
I'm Batman for real. So I love it, man. I love it.
It's dope.
Now for you guys watching this, so you know, and I'll say this every episode, Warner Brothers don't want us playing the episode or doing a watch along or reactions whatsoever. So we're gonna have a series of clips, pretty much chronicling the episode, and we're gonna talk about them as these images go forth. Just to let you know, they shut us down. This is our third attempt at this, and they've shut us
Yes.
down a
Yes.
couple times.
To be fair, I mean, come on. We're just trying to do homage. We're not trying to steal anything.
We're
We're
not
just
trying to
trying to
steal nothing. We
trying
just
to let,
want to
trying to let Batman shine,
we
baby.
try to respect y'all. But
Yeah.
these images will chronicle the episode, and we'll be talking as we're going. And in the comments, let us know your thoughts and opinions.
Yes, please do. I'm gonna hit play. So this is a shot of the actual very opening. So a great thing about the opening shot is that this was actually the short that they used to sell the Batman animated series to the network.
Wow.
So in this we see the guys running, and then we see our first image of Batman coming up right here. Come on,
It's so. I mean,
man.
it's so moody. It's so.
Yes.
And this joint, right? They
So
did artwork for every
they did.
episode.
These were actual paintings. So each cover title was an actual painting that they showed. So which was awesome. Okay, so the story opens up, and we actually see an episode of the Gray Ghost because Bruce is a child watching the Gray Ghost the same way we were children sitting down watching Batman.
And the music hit me, like the score of this episode, and specifically the score they made for this fake Grey Ghost series. It's beautiful. It's so
Right.
haunting and amazing. And then we got Bruce just childlike awe, dude.
In the outfit with the toys, doing everything.
He was us.
He was us. There's Thomas Wayne. Time to go
And
to bed.
his dad sitting like that. That's also, he's watching this, but he's also like watching this with his dad. Like that's
Right.
his memory. And then, of course, we talk about explosions all the time. We had an
Yes.
explosion in the Grey Ghost series, and then we're about to.
Right.
Boom.
So now we jump back into modern day time, and we see a huge explosion. Batman's there overseeing the city, sees the explosion.
It's a dope shot right there.
Dope shot.
Oh
He has to jump into action. So,
But then Grey Ghost, the parallel. Grey
Yes.
Ghost like sees an explosion in the series.
yes. So this kind of gives us a foreshadowing of how the Gray Ghost is going to tie into the events that are going on right now. We see Commissioner Gordon with his hand on his head. What am I going to do? My city's blowing up. He gives Batman. Let me pause this real quick. He gives Batman the ransom letter, right? Saying $1 million cash, or the Gotham Bank is next. And then Batman is like, where have I seen this before?
Where have I seen this before?
Lawrence, let me tell you something. Sometimes this stuff like sticks with me, right? So you can tell me a clip or a line from a Batman show, and I'll grab it right away. So for the fact that Bruce Wayne was like,
Yeah.
right, that he was like, where did I see? Come on, man, you know where you've seen this.
That'd be like if you're a vigilante in real life, and then you see a note and it says, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?"
Pale moonlight, exactly.
I know exactly where I'm going to look for that. So, this is fanboy service. Oh wow,
Right.
that's crazy. Good call.
Right.
Good catch right there. Good
All
catch.
right.
Man. Grey
So-
Ghost, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, so now we see exactly where parallels in the show.
And this dude is tossing into, because it's not just he's a fanboy. It brings up like moments with his father. Like this is his probably last pure moment before his parents were killed.
Right.
Which, okay, let me ask you a question real quick.
Go ahead.
Because we're about to get into the fact that he needs to find this footage, and we get into all that. In my head, I would have thought he probably would have bought all the film cans as soon as he possibly could.
Look, I don't have the means that Bruce Wayne does, but I know with the money I have a mean collection of everything I get my hands on. So if I was billionaire playboy, I would have everything great.
Everything as soon as he could.
And in the future, we do see he does have in part of the Batcave, he does have a Grey Ghost section in the Batcave.
He has my tool. I have all my action figures to my right. This is what he has.
I got them here, and I got my comics here, and my action figures here.
Just like his office. We're Batman.
We are Batman.
We're
True.
Batman.
It's true. So jumping back into the clip, this is where he goes to I don't know, I guess like a film collector
Yeah,
to see if you can find the Gray Ghost, and then they
archive.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, they say no, we don't have it. There was a fire back in the day, and it was destroyed.
So
So
maybe he didn't get a chance to buy them.
yeah,
That.
maybe he did it. But so the thing is, if you remember Inglorious Bastards, the movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the film back. So we talk about how, well, we haven't talked about it, but we did it. The ones that that we weren't
The
allowed to
ones that
post.
YouTube said no.
Right. We talk about how Batman is in this weird, like, this weird time period, right, where you can't kind of pinpoint like when it is. It's
Yeah,
kind of dated, but it's kind of futuristic.
timeless. Yeah,
So so back to Inglorious Bastards. So back in the day, the actual what they used to print the film on was super flammable.
right, right.
So this guy's saying there's a fire. So if there was a fire, the first thing that's going to go up is the negatives, right?
Absolutely.
So
And if it happened early on, then fanboy Bruce didn't have the opportunity to buy all of the film
exactly
stock because he would. I mean, looking at his collection, you'll see it later. He would have if he could have.
right. Another thing too is this showing his date. He goes to the Television Actors Guild. If this was modern times, you just go on IMDb.
And to be quite fair, I don't. There wasn't one in 1992.
There wasn't. So then he goes on, and then he discovers the Gray Ghost,
Simon
Simon
Trent.
Trent, which he should have known already.
But now he wouldn't know his name
Right.
because he's a fanboy.
He is.
Yeah. And we meet Simon here, and dude, can you pause it real quick?
Yeah.
Like, for those who don't know, I'm also an actor, and the fear of that you chose a career that is constantly in flux and not knowing what your next job is going to be. And it's not just you get to act and be on TV, but it's how you pay your bills, how you pay your rent. I mean, this part hit me right here. He's like, I just need a job. You know, Simon Trent's talking to his agent right now as he has his Grey Ghost memorabilia. And that character is doing nothing for him now. And it made me just think, like, I don't know if it's true, but I wonder if this paralleled Adam West's experience. Like, after Batman the series, how hard was it to, like, not be looked at as that? How limited was his roles after?
Do you ever fear that as an actor, that if you play a role that if you get say you've had a lot of big roles, right? Say you have a defining role. You have.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't
I'm just grinding.
downplay your
I'm
success.
grinding, man.
You've done well. You're a working actor. Facts.
Yes.
You're a working actor.
Yes.
Do you feel that if that there may be a role you might land that might define you in your typecast? Do you fear of getting typecast in a type of role for the rest of your career?
No, because at the end of the day, you're on such a grind. You want those roles that can
Right.
give you that much attention. In 2022, the world's more open. People's ideas of who we are is more vast. So you can be Black Panther and then still go ahead and, like, do James Brown.
Right.
Back then, if you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're a tough guy. Like, we don't want to see you do anything else.
Gotcha.
So for me, like, but also, like, Brandon Routh, I think he has a quote where there was like, Ruth, I always forget how to pronounce his last name. They said, do you want to play Superman? What about the Superman curse? Like, you'll never work again after this. He said, yeah, that sucks. But then I also get to be Superman.
Superman.
So,
Right.
I mean, what do you know? So
Yeah.
I mean, not the fear, but I think it hits you after you've had success, and now you think, like, the role should be coming in. I'm a hit, and they're not, because they
Right.
just see you playing the comedy version of Batman. So I just wondered if this mirrored Adam West's experience.
I'm sure it did. I feel like a lot of this episode is very much speaking to kind of handing the torch over Adam West. It was
meta.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. It very, very, very much so spoke to a lot of the Batman culture. More
Mhm.
so now. Like, I've watched this episode, I don't know how many times, but this is probably the first time I watched the episode in maybe 5 years.
Mhm.
And now I see that this was made for
Dude.
yeah, it wasn't. This really
Fanboy.
wasn't a fan episode. It was made for like the actors and the people who are involved in Batman.
Well, because when you think about it, this episode hits more now than it did when it came out, because you're seeing Ben Affleck pass the torch to Robert Pattinson. You're seeing like
Mhm.
Christian Bale say to Ben Affleck, "Hey, just make sure there's a zipper in the bat suit." Like we've actually seen versions in real life of these guys who played Batman kind of talk to the next guy who's stepping up to bat, and then having interviews with like, well, what is it like to like not be Batman anymore? And
Right.
Christian Bale, I think, has said like, it's cool. I wish they would have took more time before they came out with the next one. You know, like you see it, and I think this episode kind of like Adam West was the Batman. Like
Right.
Batman was colorful, he was playful, and then out of nowhere, Michael Keaton comes out and they change the whole tone. And
Right.
now Adam West isn't synonymous with Batman anymore, or as
It's
much. I don't
it's
know. This
true.
hits on all levels, man. It
It
hits
does.
on all
It
levels.
does. All right, let's keep going. So he gets the bad news. The agent, usually the agent is portrayed as like this grimy guy, but the agent's like a super like sensitive guy. Like, I'm trying for you. It'll come. Don't worry.
Which is closer to real life. They
Right.
they want you to win, you know,
Of course,
especially
because
if
if
they've
you
been working
win,
with you. They make
it,
money,
that's it.
but they also know your life. They've been working with you forever.
Yeah.
And this dude can't pay his rent, Chris.
Ugh. So
And
he sells off his stuff. He throws his tantrum, tears his place apart, and then sells off his stuff to this guy who he's been trying to. You can tell he's been
pause it
doing
right
this.
here. Pause it right
Oh,
there. Yeah, pause it. Keep going.
okay. So it shows that he's been doing this for a while because the guy says, the Grey Ghost stuff isn't selling. He runs a sale on it.
It's not selling. Like you're
It's
not
not
relevant anymore. That
right.
hits.
It's
That hits
hard.
hard, bro.
Yep. So he sells up the last things, and he's like, well, old. He talks to himself as the Grey Ghost. Simon Trent looks at a picture and says, well, old friend, which is just like he would talk in the Batman 66 series. Well, old friend, you paid the rent for the last time. And then he
Yeah.
sits down defeated in the chair.
It's interesting, man. Like there was a Superboy series that came out in the 80s, right? I loved it as a kid. I would run to watch it. And Gerard Christopher, the actor who plays Superboy, has been like online, talking about it. He's done a lot of conventions. But a lot of people don't know about this series because for whatever reason, the licensing fell apart. So they weren't able to put out videotapes. It's not airing in syndication. There's no
Oh,
reruns of it. So Simon Trent, with those film canisters destroyed, there's not reruns of Grey Ghost playing on television. Like people have forgotten about him in this series. It's not in the ether anymore.
that's deep.
And it hits like for us, like at least Adam West, Batman played for 30 years on television
Right.
before Simon didn't have that.
Right.
He had his time and then it was gone forever.
God.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And we know the series ran for a long time because in the future, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit, but there's an interaction with Grey Ghost and Batman, and Batman's asking questions. He's like, I did hundreds of these episodes. So it wasn't like this was a one season flash in the pan. He
No.
did the Grey Ghost for a long
He
time.
probably did it for 4 seasons, was super successful after it ran, but then the film was destroyed and it never kept playing. Which
Yep.
means he stopped getting paid.
No
We
residual.
get residuals, baby.
Yep.
Dude. Man.
Yeah. All
So then
right.
yeah,
So that
Batman, okay, so he's
guys,
sitting in his chair all upset and stuff, and Batman does the ultimate it's so good.
yeah, he gives him like all his stuff and tells him to meet me here at this,
I was like, Bruce, you could have left a bag of cash too.
the dude is broke.
I pawned all of my stuff. Like you could have hit me with some money. Don't just give me back my memorabilia. I need some money, Bruce.
He's like, I pay these bills. Would you sell these again?
What do you think? This is some game? And I love it because and I don't know if this was their point, but like Bruce Wayne still is a very privileged billionaire kid who's also a fanboy, who's also kind of stuck in his childhood. So for him, it's like, I got you all your stuff back. I need some money, Bruce.
I sold it for a reason. We think
Like,
I ran out of space.
over his head, like right over his head.
That's
Doesn't
part of
even
his
get
life,
it.
man.
Like, Bruce, get him some money. Okay.
So this is the interaction that Batman has with Simon. First, he runs, he sees him, and then he bolts like, I'm out.
Because Batman's still like, he's good, but he's scary. He's
Yeah,
scary.
so he's like, hey, they're using the Grey Ghost. Can we talk? And all of a sudden, you hear the bzzz,
And like
kaboom.
this is an explosion-filled episode. There's
It
explosions
is.
all over the
It
place.
is.
Oh, that's such a good shot.
It is a good shot.
Oh man. And then like, yeah, and Simon's like, I'm an actor, man.
I'm not really the Great Ghost. Did you know that?
He runs away and goes to his house, and then Batman's like, I'm showing you, this is the letter. This all matches your episode. And
Right, of the Mad Bomber. And then he goes,
he
and
has
then
them.
he has them. Does he have all the episodes?
Probably.
So why does he use the episodes and try and get it back on TV?
Because actors aren't the best businessmen, Chris. That's why
So it's like his go-to is to sell all his stuff and not try to put his show back on TV.
actors aren't the best businessmen.
Oh man.
But yo, pause it right here. This was crazy. Because Simon Trent is like, I'm not the gray ghost. And Batman's like, I can see that. So much judgment. And I'm
I
like,
thought that was unfair.
he's just an actor.
He's an actor. He's not really the Great Ghost.
He's not a superhero.
Right. I'm not gonna see Michael Keaton and be like, Michael Keaton, why did you
save the city? But what I love about it is it just shows you Batman, like Bruce Wayne's isn't well. He's not well.
He's not. No.
And he's still a 9-year-old child with all the intellect, with all the skills. He's still that little boy. And for him to even say that to him is like, yeah, you're stunted in a major way. And I think that's kind of perfect for Batman, but it's very interesting.
Yeah. So he gives Batman a copy, and Batman sits down and is doing exactly what we're doing.
Not in the Batcave, not in the cow. He got comfortable. He put on his nice sweater. He's like, give me some popcorn.
Yeah. He's like, it's a party. Let's watch this.
Oh, man. And he's smiling. We don't see Bruce smile.
Very rarely do you see him smile. Look at him reminiscing. There he goes, back as a kid.
This hits.
I mean, this is how he of the pain, the loss of his parents is still there. And any interaction he has, any fond memories he has with the parents, he truly cherishes.
Absolutely. And then he sees the cars and he starts to hear the sound.
Yep.
He's like, no way. And
now it goes back to modern times where he's outside watching. He hears the cars. This is it.
Dude. And not a lot of time they had with it, but still showed you his detective work. Still showed you it's his mind that's figuring this out. It's not just coincidence.
Right.
Which I loved. And he gets that car and he's like, this is a decoy. And then them joints come towards him.
They come towards it, and then a rope drops. And then that is a dope shot too. So many explosions.
Yo, dude. A lot of explosions, Chris.
Yeah. And then he's like, who saved me? Who could do that? Who else is gonna save you, Batman?
Ooh.
Look at that.
That's a power shot. Yo, this is artwork. This is artwork.
It's art. This series, no series has been done like this series since.
Ever, man.
So then he's like, let's work together. Okay,
which I feel like is completely inappropriate. He is not trained.
This guy is just an actor. Let's be clear. Can we say this again? This guy
is a 60-year-old actor that you're gonna have running these streets. But it just shows you how much Batman is clinging on to any piece of his childhood that was before his parents died. Because he's doing stuff that's out of character, but I love it for the story.
Right. So he's in the Batmobile. At least you see when he gets to the Batcave, at least you see him take off the blindfold.
Right, because I'm like, dude, you're doing the most.
Right.
He shouldn't even have brought him to the Batcave, but and he's smiling.
Yeah, he's happy.
So
here's what he says. The Grey Ghost sees it and says, this is a copy of the Grey Ghost's lair. So Batman built the Batcave to mirror his superhero.
Now, my only issue with this is I wished this connection played throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he is so inspired by the great, like, because we never need to see Simon Trent again. But after this episode, we no longer see like what inspired Batman.
I have something for you on that.
Oh, okay.
So he's talking to they're trying to do how to solve this problem. Oh no, I'm sorry. Before they do that, this is where he shows them.
Now this could have really freaked Simon Trent out, but instead,
yes.
Because I feel like if I did this with Michael Keaton, He would not be like
He'd
inspired.
be like, I gotta get out of here. This guy's gonna wear my
Get the
skin like a
hell outta
mask.
here. Yes. Put the lotion on the skin, Simon.
So then Batman uses the Bat computer, which is capable of everything. Hold on, let me pause it right here. Capable of everything. Runs prints. I don't know. Is Simon a criminal? Why does the computer have Simon's prints?
But right, because you would have to have.
Right. So
Why is your prints in the database?
Either maybe he has a gun permit, maybe he has some license that he can get fingerprinted for.
Maybe the Bat computer just does whatever you need it to do. Just knows everything.
So here we get. I'm glad they didn't use it. I'm glad they didn't play this misdirect much longer. So
yeah,
Batman's like,
Batman turned on him quick. Like
he's like,
I'm about to
throw you off the edge of this Batcave.
Which showed you like that's the child. Like that's the how could you do this?
Exactly.
I'm just an actor.
I'm just an actor. They put in my costume to humor you, Batman.
Like I'm not. I don't know what you think this is.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So then he tells him, and then he's starting to back up towards the edge. Isn't this how he created the Joker?
Batman just like throwing people up, like
Yeah. And this is where he realizes, I sold all this stuff to the seemingly super nice dude at the toy store, who somehow became a supervillain.
Now that is the point of this episode. Like a lot of this episode requires you to take a leap, but it's done so freaking well that you don't have to think too hard about it. Except when we get to this guy.
Yeah.
As a kid, I didn't notice it. As a teen, I didn't notice it. Now I'm like, he has no motivation. Like there's so many much more discreet ways to like hold the city ransom.
He said that he needs to buy toys, and what's an easier way to buy toys? He already runs a toy store. I mean, if I ran a toy store, my next step is to have remote control bomb cars.
Right? I mean, I feel like to me, there's several steps before that, but I see your point. And he's kind of, it's weird because he's kind of like a proto toy man.
He is, and you know what would be cool is if this guy was a misdirect and Toyman was actually the bad guy. Like Toyman was buying from this guy, because they could have easily used an actual supervillain and have Grey Ghost take down a real supervillain, except this no-name guy. But okay,
it was weird, and I was kind of hoping. I forgot about who he was when I was rewatching it, and in my mind, I was like, he's the bizarre, he's the fanboy that takes it too far, but he's not. He was inspired to hold the city ransom by what he saw in one episode. He wasn't like this Grey Ghost fanboy that took it way too far. Right. I was hoping that's what it would have been, but
no, he's just a general fanboy and just took pieces from the Grey Ghost.
Yeah.
So this Batman show, and he breaks a Batman toy,
which is like might be worth something, kid. Don't.
Yep. At this point, he's so angry with Batman for foiling his plans. He can't be a fanboy anymore.
And it's like you're gonna blow up Batman while you're standing right there.
Yep. Look, he's already gone. He's already lost his mind. He's
gone. And then through the window, Grey Ghost. Where did he get these skills? No,
he's an actor. He's an actor, Lawrence.
But I will say, back then, a lot of those guys did have to do their own stunts. Like it was much more. You had to do your own thing, and then an explosion.
Okay, this is the most needless explosion. This explosion was the fire started in a mad, needless way.
But that shot, Chris.
Yes. So we look at him, Batman, Grey Ghost standing in front of him, and the guy just crumpled because his life is in flames. Everything he loves is done, and his life is over.
So it is kind of like one fanboy who takes it too far and gets toxic, and you wind up not even. I mean, we see it all the time. You see it all over online, where it's like, do you guys even like these movies? You say you're Marvel fans, but you're destroying everything. Do you even like it? Versus Batman, who was like, I'm going to preserve this. It's not perfect, but it is. I'm putting it on a pedestal. I'm preserving my childhood. So it's like almost two toxic. One's a toxic fandom, and one's like fandom how I think is meant to be appreciated.
Right.
I love this. That's a dope shot.
That is a dope shot. It is a dope shot. And then the headline: Batman and Grey Ghost nab Mad Bomber.
That's the kind of press you need.
Yep.
To restart your entire career.
Exactly. And then we see the Grey Ghost is famous again.
Yeah, and because they took his stuff and made videos of them.
Oh, there we go. And then Bruce Wayne comes, is like, I'm a big fan.
But it's almost as if Grey Ghost. Do you think he figured it out?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm thinking it's implying that he doesn't know because as he's walking away, the Gray Ghost is just still enjoying his spotlight, but doesn't really acknowledge that Bruce Wayne is like.
It's an actor, man.
Is an
When we get
actor.
this, we're back in the shine. We're not even thinking about.
Yep. Forget everyone
Like,
else.
hey,
I'm back, baby.
I'm back on top, baby.
That's it. That's it.
That's the okay. So you told me to stick a pin in it, like
Yes. Okay. Let me open up my notes. So the cool thing is what I was looking to see is was the Gray Ghost a creation of Batman the Animated Series, or does it have references in comic book history? And it doesn't. This was created by Batman the Animated Series.
yeah.
But we do have references. I'm gonna tell you other appearances from the Gray Ghost in film and in comics. So in 2018, Teen Titans Go to the movies. The movie there's a
Ooh.
double feature featuring the Gray Ghost and Zorro, which is cool.
Okay, yeah. Zorro in the comics is Bruce's Grey Ghost.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
In DC, Batman and Lego DC Batman Family Matters, Batman fights Two-Face in movie theater, and in the film entitled "Beware the Gray Ghost."
Dude.
In the comics, the Gray Ghost made a return appearance in the early issue of Batman: The Gotham Adventures. That doesn't really count because that series was was based
In
on
continuity, right?
continuity of the series, and then they did it again in 2004 in a story about the making of the Gray Ghost film. The Gray Ghost appears in Batgirl Volume 2 during the New 52. He attempts to
Oh,
become the sidekick of Batgirl. His attire is similar
wow.
to Dr. Midnight, but in shades of gray, but his real identity is Clancy Johnson. And he ended up being killed. In 2015, Simon Trent is introduced into the mainstream comic book canon in Gotham Academy, where he's a famous director and playwright who decides to become a teacher of Gotham Academy, and he becomes a rival to Clayface.
As Grey Ghost?
Well, he's an actor, so Clayface is an actor. So I guess because it's not even on a supervillain level, it's just on like
It's just I'm just auditioning against you.
exactly. The Gray Ghost is a tribute to the the Gray Ghost is a tribute to the pulp comic here, The Shadow, which you can see the similarities.
Yeah.
And Robin King's origin shown in Death Metal, Dark Knight's Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knights. The movie the Wayne family saw at the Monarch Theater. Instead of the mark of Zorro, is Beware the Gray Ghost. So
It's crazy.
I haven't read any of the metal stuff, but and now on TV in Batman Beyond, one of the original costumes for the Gray Ghost hangs in the Batcave.
Really?
Yeah, you can see it.
Wow.
In Justice League Unlimited, the episode called Epilogue, which look, I know we're gonna do a Batman. This is a Batman. We're reviewing anime series, but we should do Epilogue.
Well, we're gonna get through it all.
Because Epilogue is when Terry McGinnis is older and goes back and finds and starts to look for answers about what made him become Batman Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the best episodes of Justice League Unlimited. Terry McGinnis and family are shown leaving the theater, where the theater is playing The Gray Ghost Strikes. So the Phantasm was actually supposed to kill Terry McGinnis' parents, and Phantasm couldn't do it.
And he left the theater seeing like a sequel.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. So it's cool how this is one episode, but we know that this series spawned a lot and affected a lot in the DC comics for Batman. So it's great to see that just this one episode has so many references that they've taken. So it's just cool. Yeah.
I just wish that, and the episodes are all kind of standalone, but I don't know if there's an episode where it's Christmas or something where they get him like a Gray Ghost goggle. Like just keeping it like this is Bruce Wayne. He has we never see that again, that room of the Gray Ghost. And I feel like it's such an important part of his character that only truly exists for him in this episode. That's sprinkled throughout, but I would have loved to see if there was opportunities for just more Grey Ghost to pop in, just to see what inspires him the most. But yeah, this episode's a banger, Chris.
It's a banger.
Are we
I love
rating these? I don't think we're.
You don't need to rate everything's a 10. You don't need to rate none of these episodes.
Everything's a
These are all
10.
bangers, certified bangers.
Dude, I really enjoyed this, man. If you guys enjoyed it, we'll be doing this every week, man. So leave your comments, and as long as you guys are watching, we'll keep making them. But either way, we're still going to be watching the series because the series is freaking fire. Like I said before, we got a podcast. Link is in the description below. We have other stuff on this YouTube channel: movie reviews, toy unboxings, toy reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews. We're also on Instagram, TikTok. Check us out. And we'll be back, man. Same bad time, same bad channel. But we keep messing. Let's try. This is still our first episode. We're gonna try that again. We'll be back. Same bad time.
Same bat channel.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Three Brothers and a Shot of Milk.